Greetings and salutations, one and all. How you doing? Welcome to another Healthy Love Night right here on the Night Shift with DJ Kevin Steele.
It could be water, it could be rum, it could be any sea, everything going down. It could be water, it could be rum.
Kicking off tonight with the sound of Trini Boy Juicy.
That's the water's over me.
A track called Bottle Overhead.
And the bombs into the water's over me. Now watch the girl and wine go down on the ground like down on the ground like I don't mean to be so rude, darling, but we don't really watch face. Now you have your purpose in drinking. We don't know how everything tastes. Well, you don't spy by the bar, we have it here by the case. So if your feelings are problem, well, tonight you will know your place. Waiting, and then two moons are passing. Send for the punch and bring on the back of day. There's plenty bottles lined up like on a range. We go do it just like the other day. We don't care what people say. It could be water, it could be rum. It could be any sea, everything going down. It could be water, it could be rum. It could be any sea, everything going down. Cause the bottles over me, hey. The bottles over me, hey. And the bombs into the bottles over me, hey. The bottles over me, hey. Now watch the girl and wine go down on the ground like down on the ground like Foot out dipping, what you seen? I've been the bottle in me and it reinforced like a beam. And if you come inside, you know what you're getting in. And if you have no vibes, go home with your team. Cause you like too much melee. When we come into melange. Me and the posse just picolé. We in and out like we tricoté. We don't care about nobody. It could be water, it could be rum. It could be any sea, everything going down. It could be water, it could be rum. It could be any sea, everything going down.
Greetings 517. So welcome back if it's been a while for you. Want to officially welcome each and every one to the broadcast tonight. It's Healthy Love on the Night Shift with DJ Kevin Steele.
And if you come inside, you know what you're getting in. And if you have no vibes,
Inviting to call a friend, tell a friend, friends of your friends, friends of your enemies, enemies of your friends, and your enemies. Don't leave them out. Call everybody.
Me and the posse just picolé. We in and out like we tricoté. We don't care about nobody.
And as you invite them, I want to say thank you to the affiliates for carrying this broadcast.
Could be any sea, everything going down.
And to everybody locked in right now on the Night Shift to DJ Kevin Steele on TuneIn Radio. One Harmony Radio across the pond, the top of the morning to you guys over there in the UK. Big ups to those on NIE Radio over there in New Jersey. Big ups to the neighbors in New York.
If you come inside, you know what
An island worldwide, exhibiting the power of music.
go home with your team. Cause you like too much melee. When we come.
I want to say enough love to those out of Texas. WGLRO, home of the Donnie Walker Morning Show, the People Station.
We in and out like we tricoté. We don't care about nobody.
Big ups to those on Oliwap Radio and Dusik Media Groups.
It could be any
Texas well represented.
It could be water.
Big ups to those on the Foundation Radio Network, ClintonLindsay.com.
Everything going down.
Those on PEMGTV.com. Much love to you. So 517, where have you been? I'm glad you're back. I want to say thank you to my segment sponsor, Pulse Media Group. When being in a moment is priceless, give them a call. For innovative streaming and recording solutions, you can check them out at pulsemg.com. Pulse actually has a new number.
When we come into Melange.
You can call them on 754-999-1140. 754-999-1140. I know you see 60-20 right there, but we'll have that replaced soon and very soon. Pulse Media can do everything you see right here on kevinstew.com and more. Stream your wedding, your funeral service, your church, your graduation, your seminar, your class, your party, and all on a secure platform owned by you. Cool, right? Tell them you heard about him on the night shift to DJ Kevin Stew. Go to pulsemg.com. Let's see what they have for you.
We in and out like we tricote. We don't care about nobody. It could be water. It could be rum. It could be anything.
It could be water, rum, Hennessy.
It could be water.
Everything going down. Bottle over head is the title of the track.
See everything going down.
Hey, Linder. What's on up, Trinity Boy Juicy? So tonight we're looking at an autoimmune diet, or diet that can help autoimmune conditions, if there is any such thing. Okay, so 517, you've been dealing with some autoimmune conditions. Okay, cool. We'll see if any of the information that I give out tonight can be helpful to you. 773-789 gets you in touch, by the way. 773-789-7839. You can call, you can text, you can WhatsApp, you can Telegram. Of course, you can jump into the stew pot on kevinstew.com. What is a stew pot, you may ask? Others call it a chat room, but because we're fancy over here on kevinstew.com, it's the stew pot. It's where we keep things interactive and bubbling. So come on in. Come on over. You don't have to register for anything. You don't have to sign up. You don't have to sell your spleen and your firstborn. Nothing like that. No, I actually hope I make it through this night because my throat is itching right now, which is why I sound kind of funny. Yeah, my throat is itching. It's weird. And I'm actually sucking on one of them cough drops. And of course, my water. But let's talk about let's see how much of this we can get through tonight, yeah? First of all, what is an autoimmune disease? An autoimmune disease is a condition in which your immune system mistakenly attacks your body. The immune system normally guards against germs like bacteria and viruses. When it senses these foreign invaders, it sends out an army of fighter cells to attack them. Now, normally, the immune system can tell the difference between foreign cells and your own cells. In an autoimmune disease, the immune system mistakes part of your body, like your joints or your skin, as foreign. And it releases proteins called autoantibodies. And those attack the healthy cells. Crazy, right? So it seems like your body is now just confused. Now, some autoimmune diseases target only one organ. Type 1 diabetes damages the pancreas. Other diseases like systemic lupus, um, erythematosus, those that affects the whole body. Basically, it's SLE for short, or lupus for short. So, why does this happen? Well, actually, doctors don't know. Some people are more likely to get an autoimmune disease than others. Why? Doctors are not exactly sure why. According to a 2014 study, women get autoimmune diseases at a rate of 2 to 1 compared to men. 6.4% of women versus 2.7% of men. Often the disease starts during a woman's childbearing years. So somewhere between age 15 and age 44. 517 is saying, my body must be very confused. It's attacking everything. Is it really that bad, 517? Some autoimmune diseases are more common in certain ethnic groups. For example, lupus affects more African American and Hispanic people than Caucasians. Certain autoimmune diseases like multiple sclerosis and lupus run in families. Not every family member will necessarily have the same disease, but they inherit a susceptibility to an autoimmune condition. Because the incidence of autoimmune disease is rising, researchers suspect environmental factors like infections and exposure to chemicals or solvents may be involved. A Western diet, catch this, a Western diet is another suspected risk factor for developing an autoimmune disease. Eating high fat, high sugar, and highly processed foods is thought to be linked to inflammation, which might set off an immune response. However, this hasn't been proven. All right. So, remember I said that. In fact, I'm going to come back to that. Let me finish giving you this information. A 2015 study focused on another theory called the hygiene hypothesis. Because of vaccines and antiseptics, children today are not exposed to as many germs as they were in the past. The lack of exposure could make their immune system prone to overreact to harmless substances. Bottom line, researchers do not know exactly what causes autoimmune diseases. Genetics, diet, infections, and exposure to chemicals might be involved. Let me go back to this particular section right here. A Western diet is another suspected risk factor for developing an autoimmune disease. All right. What exactly is it that we're calling a Western diet? Because let's use the United States as an example. The thing that is most readily available to most people is fast food. So, is a Western diet a fast food diet? Let's think about it for a moment. Going back to this information here, courtesy of healthline.com. Eating high fat, high sugar, and highly processed foods is thought to be linked to inflammation. It's interesting that they say it is thought to be linked when when time and time again. Hey Marva, I want to welcome Nurse Marva Riley tuning in on Facebook Live. It is thought. They say it is thought that it is linked to inflammation when throughout, I don't know, I don't even know how long it has been. I started doing Healthy Love with my chiropractor, Dr. Janice J Love, as we call her, Stone, Dr. Janice Stone. And that was just about 11 years ago now. And from that time, she has been talking about high fat, or we have been talking about high fat, high sugar, highly processed foods. We have been talking about fast food. We've been talking about junk food. Anything that falls under that umbrella. And we have been linking it to inflammation and dis-ease. So, for the statement that it is to be made that it is thought to be linked to inflammation, who is thinking that? Someone was saying hot dog, hamburger, french fries, excess sugar, excess salt, to name a few, as your Western diet, quote unquote, Western diet. So, excuse me. So, what do we have going on here? In my opinion, and again, I'm just a DJ, not a DR, so you can consult your DRs on this. In my opinion, because of the way the system is set up, in that when you think of things like the healthcare system, it caters to treating symptoms of ailments versus causes of ailments. And when I say the healthcare system, I'm specifically referring to the pharmaceutical industry. Some may like it, some may not. Some may call me a conspiracy theorist. I don't care. I'm just giving you the information. My job here is to stimulate your appetite, not to satisfy your hunger. So when I give you information, you go and check it up. All right? For those of you new to the Night Shift to DJ Kevin Stew, kevinstew.com is the place where you come to have acceptance through enlightenment. If you don't have it before, you learn it here. So let's get enlightened. Now, this acceptance that we're talking about in this case would be to accept the fact that we are being given a diet that is going to be making us sick. This is what is being made available to us on a regular. When I was growing up in Jamaica, fast food was a treat. Let me say that again. Fast food was a treat. So you basically had to save up to go get fast food, or you plan to go have fast food. No, fast food is the regular, and real food is the treat. I still have symptoms, but not nearly as intense as they used to be, or severe. Well, that's good to know. 517. That's really good to know. Now, so we're looking at the diets. We're looking at the food as it relates to autoimmune diseases. Lost my train of thought just now. So, what then can you eat and what shouldn't you eat? Or I should say, what should you consume and what shouldn't you consume? Eatthis.com says, excuse me, if you're someone who battles with an autoimmune disease, you know that many of them come with uncomfortable symptoms that often have negative effect on your daily life. While there are many types of autoimmune diseases, they all have one thing in common. They all mistakenly attack healthy cells in the body. So, regardless of which disease you're suffering from, know that feeling better starts. Know that feeling better starts with what is in your autoimmune disease diet. One of the things we emphasize a lot is gut health leads to overall health. So if you want to really know how healthy you are, you want to check your gut health. Linda on Facebook is saying, also hereditary. I got my psoriasis from my dad, and the arthritis that can come with it. And the arthritis that can come with it. I do agree processed food is a factor. Yeah, it is. Not that it is thought to link to inflammation. It causes inflammation. That is what most disease is. Yeah, that same thing that we just lump up as one word and just say disease. Yeah, it is dis-ease. So, eat this, not that. Checked in with nationally recognized nutritionist and healthy cooking expert Patricia Bannon to educate us on what food those with autoimmune diseases should eat or avoid to benefit both them and their health, as well as which structured diets you should or should not follow. Now, there's this list of best and worst foods of an autoimmune disease diet can apply to patients who are suffering from any of a few conditions. And, all right, before I go there, let me go here. Phone line open. Nurse Marva, good evening. Greetings and salutations to you.
Hello, my brother. How are you?
I am well. A little bit of an itchy throat here. I don't know, but I'm making it through. How you doing?
Doing well, thank you.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Now, I had in the back of my mind that something like this would not pass you, considering that you are the author of Eat, Sleep, Meditate. One of the I don't know if it's by choice, by design, or what. Your book starts with eat. So,
Yes.
what are you helping us out with right now? Because I know you're going to help us out with something, you know. So
I
talk to me.
could not miss this episode when I saw your post on Instagram.
Yes.
I said I just have, even though my bedtime is 9:30, 10, I had to stay up. And I want to let you know that the title of my book is Eat, Sleep, Meditate, a Nurse's Guide to Health.
Yes.
Excellent health.
Yes.
And I had to call tonight because you're touching a topic that is dear to my heart, and that's our health.
Yes.
And autoimmune. I actually have a sister and her daughter that were diagnosed with lupus many years ago. And my sister is totally well right now because she took charge of her health when she was diagnosed.
Okay.
Her daughter, who was young and didn't really take it as seriously as her mom, is not doing as well. She actually is on dialysis right now because her kidneys have failed, and she knocked on death's door many, many times. So autoimmune disorder or autoimmune disease is not anything to play with.
Right.
But I tell you, Kevin, my sister, when she and her daughter were diagnosed at the same time, because my sister had lupus. Is very difficult to diagnose.
Yes.
Most doctors don't know what is going on until they say, let's just check you for lupus, because the symptoms are vague. And for years, my sister was plagued with really very high fever, 103 or 104. She would go to the emergency room in Jamaica. They would give her Tylenol, send her home. They didn't know what was going on. And then she would get these sores in her mouth and in her ear and on her lips all over. And they had no idea what was going on. But then when the daughter got pregnant and nearly died because her platelet count was so low, she was bleeding from every orifice. And they told her that it was a 50-50 chance that when she had the baby that she would die.
Mm-hmm.
And so they tested her for lupus. Why is your platelet so low? The
Right.
platelet is that blood cell that is in charge of the clotting of our blood. And they tested her and she was positive. She tested positive for lupus, so they tested the mother. And they said, oh, so that's why you were having these symptoms. Mom changed the way she ate. Mom started exercising. Mom took charge of her health. And my sister is in her mid-50s now and totally healthy. But
There you
her
go.
daughter had lupus for 11 years, didn't really do what she needed to do, and now is on dialysis. Or nutrition or overall lifestyle is very important with regards to any autoimmune disorder.
And it's surprising that people, as much as the information is out there, as much as it's talked about, we often miss it. 517 in the stew pot is saying, I had to eliminate all dairy products from my diet. I'm also eliminating meat from my diet. My symptoms plagued me for years and doctors took years to diagnose. What was the diagnosis, 517? If you'd be so kind to share. Yeah, we miss it. It's often right there, staring us in the face, and we miss it time and time again. And funny enough, some of the information that I have to present tonight, looking at some of the foods that is recommended for us to kind of stay away from, one of them would actually leave you scratching your head. Something,
Which one is that?
as it is referred to, nightshade vegetables or nightshade foods. And I will address that a little bit later on, because it's a group of vegetables that fall under the category or that are called nightshade vegetables. And you wouldn't think that something that is a vegetable would cause you harm, but just about everything is good within moderation. Everything that you can consume can kill you. You drink too much water, it'll kill you. And there's nothing that is better for you than water. So everything is within moderation. But there are some things that just no. That's all you can say to them, just no. And some conditions, rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, celiac disease, multiple sclerosis, alopecia areata, these conditions are somewhat the ones that get affected more often than others with some of the things that we're eating all the time. And some of the information that I'll be addressing tonight will look at some of these conditions or relate to these conditions, some of these conditions even more. But there are a whole lot more autoimmune conditions. There's a whole slew of them.
There are many more than are named, actually, because sometimes people are suffering from autoimmune conditions and they don't even know that it's autoimmune conditions. Sometimes these conditions are placed in a classification because they don't know what to call it. They don't know what it is.
Right.
People have chronic pain and they don't know that it's an immune issue. The thing is that A lot of the health issues that we have are related to our immune system, because our bodies are constantly being bombarded by one issue or the other. But if our immune system is strong enough,
Mm-hmm.
we will be able to ward off these issues. But because of our poor lifestyle, and it's not
Yes.
just here in the United States, it's really catching on to the whole world right now, where people have very poor lifestyle. People aren't sleeping, for example, Kevin.
Yes.
And if you are diagnosed with an autoimmune condition, it is extremely important that you sleep. It is extremely important that your stress level is minimized. It
Mm-hmm.
is extremely important that you eat healthy, that you do some moderate exercise, that you get some sunlight, that you drink adequate amount of water.
Right.
I have a friend who was diagnosed with an autoimmune condition about 30 something years ago. And she used to be the manager of a bank, a large bank in New York.
Mm-hmm.
And her physician said to her, if you want to live,
Quit your job.
you've got to quit the job.
See that right there.
You just have to. He said the job is just too stressful for you. And if you want to live, you have to quit the job. And she did.
Mm-hmm.
Fortunately for her, her husband had a decent job and was able to provide for the family.
Right.
And without her working, so she quit the job, and she's alive, and is fairly functional, but it's been like 35 years. Whereas most people that are diagnosed with autoimmune conditions, a lot of times after 10 years they start going down the tube.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
this lady has thrived and survived because she changed her lifestyle. She reduced her stress level by eliminating that stressful job.
Right.
She has a specific bedtime, and she just does the best she can to eat properly. It has to be a holistic approach.
Right. Right. You see, 517 is saying, RA and lupus are is what they've been diagnosed with. So rheumatoid arthritis and lupus. And you know, I have a close friend of the family. We refer to each other as cousins. We're that close. Excuse me. The families are that close. And I remember as a teenager him suffering from rheumatic fever and almost dying at one point.
Mm-hmm.
We're the same age. And to hear him complain of joint pain, and I as a teenager, I was at a loss because this is like old people disease. What's going on here? And that's another thing. And you alluded to it earlier. In our youth, there's this old Jamaican saying, and I'm sure you're familiar with it: "Your life is long, but you're careless with it."
Mm-hmm.
We hear of these things happening, and we think we are young and we are invincible.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you want to feel invincible, then you need to do what the old people do it. Because what the old people are doing to stay alive has to be what we should be doing from young to grow into it. You bend the tree from its young so that it grows a particular way. So now these old people are changing their diets and have to be monitoring what they're eating and why not do it from you're young?
That is true, but I would also suggest that it's never too late,
Exactly.
because I
That
was
too,
I was
I should
I
say.
was deathly sick
Mhm.
later on. I mean, in midlife, very very sick, and for all intents and purposes, my condition was involved autoimmune.
Mm-hmm.
and I use alternative treatments, change my lifestyle, the way I ate, incorporate some exercise and all of that. All of that I have discussed in my book as to
Right.
how I was able to reverse health issues. I was in so much pain every day, Kevin, that I could barely walk.
Yep.
Okay, with joint pain and muscle pain and that kind of thing. But no matter what age we are, if we change our way of living, we
Mm-hmm.
can change our life. It's never, never, never too late. We can change.
Right.
And we don't have to live in pain. We don't have to be suffering. No, mark you, it didn't take us 6 months to be where we are. And it sure is not going to take us 6 months to reverse. But if we start now and we are consistently making the effort and do whatever is necessary to reverse the damage that we've done to our bodies, then we too can live a healthy, pain-free life.
Mm-hmm.
But we got to start now. We got to get rid of fast food. We got to get rid of sugar. We got to get rid of excess sugar, excess salt, get rid of sodas. There's some things that we really should not be consuming. We have to learn to enjoy vegetables. And we have to learn to enjoy fruits and nuts and water
Mm-hmm.
and things like that. We have to unlearn. Somebody shared something with me today. It says we have to unlearn the things that we've learned,
Right.
because this culture that we live in is all about money. They don't want you well. They want you sick so that you're constantly buying drugs and going to them, because how can they make money if you're well? But you got to take back your own health. It is your health. Who wants to be suffering every day?
Okay, hold on. Let me add somebody to this call here. Um, let me see. Let me see if what is going on here. Okay. Do me a favor. Call back on the other line, please. Hello.
Hello?
Yeah, call me back on the other line, please. I asked you to call on this line, but call me back on the other line. Let me work some magic here. Okay. Okay. Because I don't know why it was that I could not merge these two calls just now. But let me go ahead and connect you guys this way. Hello, are you there?
Marva?
And Marva, I know you're here.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So I have Marva here, and I have my healing heavenly hands therapist on the next line. Um, and I don't know if you were trying to call incognito.
I tried.
Too late. Sorry. Everybody knows your voice. Miss
No,
Althea
they
Essue,
don't.
and funny enough, you're calling in your segment. So thank you very much for sponsoring this segment of the broadcast. Let me go ahead and get this out of the way, get this housekeeping done since you're here and we're in this segment. Thank you to Althea and her Healing Heavenly Hands. Althea Essue is a licensed massage therapist operating out of Broad County, North Miami-Dade, and South Palm Beach counties. She comes to you, brings her tables, her oils, and over 20 years massage therapy experience. She only has one request outside of paying her that you get off her table when she's done. Go ahead and give her a call, 954-655-9000, or email her at thealata@att.net. She's also certified as a personal trainer, so you can call her for your massage and you can call her for your personal training. Put your muscles in pain and she can soothe them. So that, in a nutshell, takes... And the falling asleep on the table thing, that's real. Understand, trust, and believe that that's real, because I do it all the time. So, Miss Althea,
Yes, sir.
welcome. Thank you for joining the gang.
Listen, I figured, I know Nurse Marva Riley has a set bedtime, and I have been trying to follow her example
Hmm.
because I know where she's coming from, and I've seen the changes in her by, changing your lifestyle will change your life. She's an example for me, and I figure,
Which is the
what, if
name of
she
your
can stay
company
up,
too.
yes. Oh, thank you for reminding me. Yes.
Yes.
I figure if she can stay up to participate in tonight's broadcast and share her experiences, who am I to keep all this information that I've learned from her and from others that she's referred me to, just wanted to call in and share my story personally.
Right.
And for years, I've had unexplained pain, and you go to the doctor and they look at you like you're crazy and you're making things up when they can't put a name or put a name to what you're experiencing. They make it seem like you're making things up.
Yes.
But I always knew there was something not right with my body, and I just kept going back, and I would go to different doctors and I would explain my symptoms. And it wasn't until it was less than a year ago that I was with the rheumatoid arthritis and lupus. And for me, I didn't let it be a hindrance. I didn't say, oh my gosh, I have this, and, let that be the end all be all. I was proactive. I had already lost quite a bit of weight, started to be very active, exercise, and slowly but surely we started figuring out, okay, these foods are contributing to some of the dis-ease that you're experiencing.
Right.
And these are foods that I used to love. But as much as I love the foods, they didn't like me at all.
I guess the big part of that was getting to recognize that the foods didn't like you.
Yeah, because we all know that we are more conditioned, I should say, to eat what we like, not necessarily what likes us.
Yes, yes.
And slowly but surely, I'm not going to say that my symptoms have disappeared 100%, but they have diminished significantly. And, like Marva, I'm using alternative medicine because if I'm going to go to a medical professional, and the first thing that they want to do is give me a shot, cut my body,
write you a prescription.
Or write me a prescription. Next, move on. Because, Marva, I know you'll agree with this when I make the statement that our bodies were made to heal itself. We just have to put the proper nutrients in it so that it could do the job that it was created to do.
Well, that is why we have these cells that fight disease. If our bodies weren't designed to take care of itself, then that wouldn't be the case. And from birth, we would need significant help to stay alive. But what I see happening is now, from birth, we're pushed in a direction where we're dependent on drugs to stay alive. Because in the hospital after birth, babies are getting shots. When I was a baby, I didn't get my first shots until I was about 2. The first 2 years of life, and this is not DJ Kevin Stew making up stuff. we have a registered nurse on the line. Correct me if I'm wrong. Within the first 2 years of life, this is when an individual's immunity starts to develop, and it is reinforced, and the development of it is contributed by breastfeeding.
Mm-hmm.
That's important. Breastfeeding. And so, in order to get the best milk from mom has to have a good diet. I don't know if people recognize the connection. Blessings, Arajanai. I don't know if people are recognizing what is happening here. So, we can want our babies to have good health. It is not coming from a kind of formula. It is not coming from pumping them full of drugs by way of some vaccinations.
And now that you brought that up, I remember when I was breastfeeding, I was forbidden. My mother literally forbade me to eat certain foods because what she would tell me, whatever I would eat is what I would be feeding
The baby.
that newborn.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I was already an adult with children, and my mother was still forbidding me. You can't eat this. You can't eat that. You can't eat this because you're breastfeeding. And you know what? I'm glad I listened to her.
You see, these are some of the things that are important, and we miss it time and time again. We miss it. Marva, if there's anything that either of us, not being medical professionals, have said, feel free to correct us. I know Althea, with being a massage therapist, learned certain things about the body, but even more so now as a personal trainer, you have learned a whole lot more.
Definitely.
Now, looking back at when you were breastfeeding, some of the foods that your mother was saying, listen, don't eat that, don't eat that, don't eat that. When you look at some of those foods and you look at the content in Marva's book, Eat, Sleep, Meditate, Nurse's Guide to Good Health, to Excellent Health, how do those things match up? Are some of them the same things that Marva talks about staying away from in her book?
Yes, most definitely, because if it's going to if I'm going to put it in my body and have a negative reaction to it, my body is producing the milk that I'm feeding the baby. So if it does that to my body, what is it going to do to a newborn system who is still developing?
Now, you take that very same food that and apply it to now being diagnosed with RA and lupus. Are some of those things the very same foods that you're staying away from now?
I have to, yes.
See? And I ask that question as a practical example and a real life example. Go ahead, Marva.
Well, dairy, Kevin, is one.
Right.
Because a lot of babies get very, very gassy and become very uncomfortable when mom consumes dairy, like cheese and cow's milk. And dairy is inflammatory. Many people who have autoimmune conditions cannot do dairy.
They're lactose intolerant.
It flares them up really bad. Lactose intolerance actually is considered to be an autoimmune condition.
And if you put a check mark to all of those are foods that I used to consume. I didn't consume them while I was breastfeeding, but after that, I call those foods now my kryptonite, because it literally it's destroying my body if I consume them, and it doesn't matter. Some people say, oh, well, I can just eat a little piece of this or just have a little bit of that. For me, it's like Superman ingesting kryptonite if I go anywhere near those near anything dairy or anything fried or anything that is going to disrupt my already compromised immune system.
Mm-hmm. Althea, I want you to tell me what you did, how much weight you lost, because you mentioned losing some weight, how much weight you lost, and how much you changed your diet. But before you do so, I want to thank those of you on Facebook Live. Come use a link that is pinned in the comment section. Come on over to the website. Come over to kevinstew.com for the rest of this information. You don't have to sign up for anything. You just click on the link and go straight there. The broadcast is live. What you see on kevinstew.com is live. That's what you're watching right here on Facebook Live, yeah? It's the same thing on the website. Come over, jump into the stew pot, put your comments there. kevinstew.com. We're going to jump off Facebook Live. So just come on over. Use the link, okay? Tell me, Althea, the change in your diet and how much weight, well, the change in your diet and the lifestyle and how much weight you lost and how much healthier you became, how much how much less your condition was affecting you. Because I'm pretty sure with this lifestyle change that everything started working better.
Definitely. I wish I could say that one morning I woke up and got this epiphany that I needed to start to changing my lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
Mine was I went to the doctor for my annual checkup, and when your doctor has to call you into their office to give you the results of whether it's a medical exam or, an annual checkup,
Mm-hmm.
usually it's not the best of news.
Right.
So that was my wake-up call. And it took me about a year and a half to lose 78 pounds. And I've been keeping it off for about almost another year and a half. No, another year and a half. And I'm still maintaining. I'm still active. I still work out 3 to 5 days a week. And I have significantly cut down on the amount of meat that I consume.
Mm-hmm.
I significantly increased the amount of dark green leafy vegetables. There are certain vegetables, as you were saying earlier, that, people hear vegetables and they think, oh, my goodness, vegetables that is not necessarily bad for you. It's just not your body type just does not react well to certain vegetables. I love broccoli. I love Brussels sprouts.
Mm-hmm.
But whenever I eat those vegetables, I tend to retain a lot of fluid, which causes some discomfort.
Right. I have a picture. I have a picture of you up on screen right now, of you, in this black dress, taking a picture in the mirror, and side by side with you in your Santa Claus hat and a red dress.
Oh, my before and after picture.
Your before and after pictures, yes.
Yeah, and the difference in time in those, that was about a year and a half. And I did not have any weight loss surgery. I literally stopped putting junk in my body.
Mm-hmm.
I started to be more active. I quit my stressful job, a job that I had for over 30 years. And it literally was one of the best decisions that I ever made. I thought that taking a huge pay cut was going to be more stressful. Little did I know that because I eliminated that form of stress from my life, I found more time to do what I actually love, which is the massage. And because I became a personal trainer for two reasons. I wanted to help women over a certain age to show them that they too can change their lifestyle. They too can become healthy. And also to hold myself accountable because, Marva, you can attest to this. What you write about in your book, you are living it and people are seeing it. They are now going to be more inclined to listen to what Marva has to say, to do some of the things that Marva is doing, to take her from where she was 5 years ago to follow her on this journey, because I can tell you that. I'm speaking for you right now, Marva. You are still on that journey. You have not gotten there as yet. And I'm saying that because I know that it's not, we're not on a diet. We are on a health journey.
Mm-hmm.
And that journey will keep going as long as we keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of being on a journey, I put up the side by side of you just now, and now I just put up a picture of you in army official uniform, and this was your army official uniform when you graduated boot camp.
Yeah, that was 36 years ago?
Right. So
Wow.
36 years later, after I put up that side by side of you, for you to be fitting into your uniform that you graduated from boot camp, that's a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
It really is.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the food, as we talk about the autoimmune diet, some of the foods that got you to your black dress period in time was that the easier food to get, the easier food to prepare, the tastier food. And I don't even want to say the tastier food because it makes healthy eating sound like it's not as palatable as junk food eating.
I'm just going to sum it up in 2 words or a few words. It's the lazy food.
Gotcha.
Because I am now making healthier meals that takes little or no prep time, little or no cook, little to no to little cook time, and the taste is better than what I was eating before.
Can I hop in a little bit?
Please, feel free.
Okay, so I agree 100% with Althea. What happened, like my husband always says, it's not the meat and the junk food that we like so much. It's the flavor.
Yes.
Okay, so for our healthy foods, our beans and our vegetables and stuff like that, if we would add our favorite spices, if we would add the onion and the garlic and the tomato and the peppers and the sweet pepper and things like that to our vegetables, it'll taste better than meat. So it's really, and I'm actually working on a plant-based recipe book that I am expecting to publish in the fall.
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
And yeah. And what I want to do is to teach people the art of healthy meal preparation. And because I am I call myself a lazy cook. I don't like to spend a lot of time in the kitchen and have long preparation. I like quick, easy, inexpensive, and tasty foods.
Right.
Okay? Especially if you're cooking for a man, it's gotta taste good. And so that's what I'm presenting in my book, because I realize that folks really do not know how to prepare tasty, quick
Healthy food.
and healthy foods. They don't. They think that your salad has to be lettuce and tomato thrown in a bowl. Okay, they don't know that they can add some pecan nuts and some almond nuts and some dried cranberry, and they can make their own healthy salad dressing, and add some lentil beans and things like that. Even add some apples and pineapples to that salad to make it really, really taste good and enjoyable. So yeah, like Althea said, you can actually cook delightful foods, healthy foods, that taste better than the junk that people buy. These food, these chicken that they buy at these supermarkets that are grilled and smoked and that kind of thing, that is not good for our bodies.
So let me run in here and just drop some real quick some of the foods that are recommended. These are said to be the best foods to eat when following an autoimmune diet. You have leafy greens,
Mm-hmm.
your spinach, kale, lettuce, Swiss chard,
Yes.
and these are rich in antioxidants and immune boosting nutrients, vitamin C, vitamin A, magnesium. You have salmon,
Yes.
rich source of omega 3s, fatty acids, and these can help to reduce inflammation that can be present with certain autoimmune diseases. It also contains vitamin D. Now, a lot of us are not getting enough sunlight, which is the ultimate source of vitamin D. Free and if sufficient. But we don't get to spend enough time outside. As a matter of fact, there was a time when to punish a child, you'd tell them to stay inside. Now to punish a child, you're sending them outside, which means our children are not going outside enough, which means they're not getting enough vitamin D. Plus, they're eating junk food, which means they're vitamin D deficient. Now, one of the big things especially with this COVID pandemic, scandemic, whichever you want to call it, this COVID thing, one of the things that kept on coming back over and over and over again is vitamin D deficiency. And I don't know how it is that so many people miss it. But vitamin D deficiency is missing. Is one of those things that keep coming back over and over and over again. So salmon is rich in vitamin D also. Avocados. Last week I talked about avocado seed tea. And I even mentioned consuming the avocado seed in a stew, as one of my cousins told me that he came along, he was chatting with some Rastafarians, and they talk about having avocado seed in a stew. They stew it down and have it. So avocado itself, we know, is a good source of heart healthy fats, a good source of potassium. So you I can't even go over all the benefits of avocado once again. Just check out last week's broadcast that I touched on avocado, avocado seed tea. Because when they talk about consuming the avocado, generally the seed is left out. Until last week, a bunch of people did not know that the seed can be included into your diet. Then you have your cruciferous vegetables. And I thought about this as Althea started mentioning it just now. Your Brussels sprouts, your cabbage, your broccoli, your cauliflower. These are your cruciferous vegetables. And they contain antioxidant compound called glutathione. You know, these help in the fight against autoimmune diseases. Blueberries, you know, big in the fight against autoimmune diseases. Now, some of the worst foods include nightshade vegetables. And Marva, you heard me mention this earlier. So, for those that are wondering, what are these nightshades? Tomatoes, peppers, eggplants, potatoes. These, which are usually very healthy options, fall in the category of nightshades.
Mm-hmm.
They contain a group of substances called alkaloids. One of the interesting thing is that they're considered to be a poisonous substance. Now, I had gone and found a little bit of information that I want to share about nightshades. Let me see if I can find back that section really quickly and tell it to you guys. Because Tom Brady had brought to light some criticism when it came to nightshades. And for those who are into football of the American kind, you know, this is they know who Tom Brady is. So nightshades are a family of flowering plants, also known as Solanaceae. There's more than 2,000 species belonging to the botanical family, and most are not edible. The common ones, like I mentioned, tomatoes, all varieties, potatoes, sweet yams and sweet potatoes are not nightshades. Bell peppers, hot peppers, eggplant, and tomatillos. Now, I guess those are tiny tomatoes. I never checked to see what those were, really. But they contain a poisonous alkaloid known as solanine. Some people may have a sensitivity to solanine. The interesting thing about solanine, however, is that it is mostly concentrated in the leaves and stems of the plant. But some of it is also in the fruit itself. So your nightshades, your nightshade vegetables, whichever way you want to call them. Again, your tomatoes, peppers, eggplants, your potatoes, not your sweet potatoes or your sweet yams. These fall under that category. And in a 2010 study on mice with IBD, inflammatory bowel disease, it showed that the alkaloids in potato increased intestinal inflammation. So some of the very foods that are said to be good for us, again, depending on how you consume them, can be quite harmful. And then we know about the dairy. Looking at the ones that are harmful to autoimmune conditions, you have your dairy. milk, yogurt, cheese, butter, some of which are touted as good for you. You know, as children, we're told to drink cow's milk because it gives us calcium and it strengthens our bones and teeth, and eat cheese because of the very same reason. It comes from and butter. They all come from dairy, and it's good for us. But we have come to realize that it is also damaging us. Why? And some time back, I remember I looked at that, the dairy industry and how it affects our health. I need to find that broadcast again and link it to this one for the YouTube watchers. But dairy, and you wouldn't think dairy, eggs, believe it or not. A 2017 study showed eliminating eggs from your diet has the potential to improve symptoms of inflammatory bowel disease. So, eggs. And then you have your gluten-containing foods. You know, your bread, your pasta, your beer, for the beer drinkers. When you talk about those that have celiac disease and gluten sensitivities, you know, these are some of the things you need to stay away from. But they don't, or we, generally speaking, don't. And of course, you have your sugary foods. And we talk about sugary foods all the time in our regular diet. Marva, I'm pretty sure you address that a lot. And it's tricky. Sugary foods tends to be one of those tricky ones because fruits are good for us, but fruits also contain sugars. So striking that balance is important. And
but Kevin, the sugary foods that research referred to that cause all kinds of health issues, it's not the
refined.
sugar in yeah, it's not the sugar in fruits.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine sugar. It's the sugar that's in sodas and juices and pastries, and the sugar that is in salad dressing, the sugar that is in all these processed foods.
Right.
That is dangerous sugar. Almost everything that we eat that comes off a shelf has sugar in it, used as a preservative and flavoring.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the dangerous. The corn sugar. That's the dangerous sugar. Not the sugar we get from oranges and apples and watermelon. And that's good sugar, which our body needs. Our body needs sugar. Sugar is the fuel, okay, for our body.
And and there's also
Or
good fat.
yes, yeah. I mean, when we're talking about, and even salt, sodium, our foods have natural sodium that we need. We
Mm-hmm.
need sugar, we need sodium, we need fat. What we don't need are the junk, the processed fat. The fat in avocado is good for you,
Yes.
but French fries fat is not good for you.
Mm-hmm.
The
And
sugar in watermelon has lots of sugar, but it's an excellent fruit. It's very different than the sugar that is in a soda.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where we
and
have to clarify when we talk about sugars, excess sugar, excess fat. We're not getting, certainly banana has quite a bit of sugar. So you kind
Yes.
of want to, rather than eating 3 bananas, you want to eat one. But for
Mm-hmm.
the most part, there are people that are go on banana diet and reverse health issues I've read.
Mm.
The problem is the sugar in almost, and I read recently that the FDA does not require the food industry to put everything that is in the food that they're putting on the shelf on the label. So
Yeah.
there are even things that we eat that have sugar, have added sugar and added salt, but we don't know because it's not on the label.
But
So
for
the
years that has been
best,
an issue. For
yeah,
years. It's not just
that's
now.
our best bet is to eat fresh. Eat
yes,
fresh.
I was going to say that because even when we go to the store, and we're still trying to be health conscious. When we buy something that is prepackaged, we think that we're doing ourselves a service by reading the labels. Now, come to find out, they're not disclosing everything that is in that packaged food.
Yeah.
You don't know how long it's been sitting on a shelf. You don't know the preservatives that they put in that food to give it a longer shelf life.
Very
So,
true.
Marva, I am so glad you brought that up. When in doubt, eat fresh.
But
Yeah.
even the water that the bottled water that some of us are so we believe in so much.
Yeah.
Many of these bottled water have sugar. They have additives in them to make them taste good, including sugar. I
Yeah.
remember when I had my allergy issues, I read about a case where one of the airlines had a customer on their plane, and they served a specific, I won't name the brand of water that they served, and the person had a severe allergic reaction and nearly died because of additives that were in the
The water.
water, bottled water.
Yeah. We again we miss some of these things, and they're marketed to us under the guise of a healthy alternative. Well, a healthy alternative to what? You know, if you want healthy, you get healthy. If you're looking for, if you want to talk about a healthy alternative, no, you talk about a healthy alternative to a hamburger is whatever fruits and vegetables that you can have. The other day I had deviled eggs made with no eggs,
Mm,
and I was beside myself.
mhm.
It was mushrooms were used to make it, and I'm like mind blown. It
Yeah.
was so good, and you couldn't tell that there were no eggs in it.
And what was the filling made from?
I don't even remember.
It was made from
And I
chickpeas,
know you had some of this.
chickpeas grounded. The chickpeas, boil it and ground it and put a little bit of curry, a little bit of turmeric, a little bit of apple cider vinegar, and just put it in the blender and puree it, and a little bit of black salt.
Mm-hmm.
And everything came from the ground, from the earth.
Mm-hmm.
Deviled
And
eggs. I
nobody,
was beside myself.
Mm-hmm. If we would only be a little bit, if we would be open, the thing is that so many of us wait until we're sick before we start making a decision to eat healthy, to eat for health. But I would strongly encourage your listeners to start incorporating some more vegetables and fruits and nuts and grains and drink more water, because an ounce of prevention is better than a
A pound
pound
of
of.
cure. Yeah.
And don't wait. I mean, I did, even though I knew better. I'm a registered nurse of many years. I knew better, and I waited. I was deathly sick before I made a change. But I'm appealing to your listeners to not wait until they're deathly sick to make the change. Make the change now so that you can grow older, of whatever age you are, whether in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. But we're all getting older every day. But if you can grow older healthy, and it doesn't necessarily mean you have to avoid every single thing that you enjoy, you
Right.
know. I mean, nothing is. I mean, if I go out to dinner, I enjoy a burger. I just enjoy my burger and enjoy my French fries and stuff. I just don't cook that kind of stuff or eat that kind of stuff every day and in my house every day. But if we could just make an effort to include, like a raw salad in your diet every day, and rather than reaching for cookies and crackers, reach for fruits and some nuts. And, try to drink some more water. If you don't like the flavor of water, add your fruits and vegetables to flavor up your water.
Or some mint.
Or some mint. But,
I
just
add
start
mint.
taking better care of ourselves.
Yeah.
I add mint and ginger and lemon juice and cucumbers and strawberries and
That's not water anymore.
you name it. No, not all the same, not at the same time.
That's a fruit
Different
punch.
times, so that no, I understand what you're saying, but I don't add them all at the same time. These are different things that I add to my water that gives it a different taste, so I don't get bored. And it entices me, and it's also a great conversation starter because people are like, "Oh, what's that in your water? What's that you're drinking?"
Mm-hmm.
You know,
you
and
have things
then
floating
I
in your
get
bottle.
to share. Yes, I always have things floating in my water bottle.
Marva, you mentioned having a hamburger, and I want to touch on this because fast food restaurants recently came out with what they call the impossible burger. So they're coming out with these meatless or veggie hamburgers. But are they really that much better than a good old, well done ground beef patty between some bread?
I don't really know. I think I did a little bit of reading, and I think it's made from chickpeas mainly. I think that's what these burgers are made from, chickpeas. That's what I read. And I don't know how healthy it is, etc. Some people tend to think that because it's not meat based, that is healthier than regular beef burger. I don't know. I just know that when I go, I don't go out to eat often, but say if I go out to eat once a month, I'll eat whatever I feel like eating, because the moment you start depriving yourself of every single thing that you enjoy is when you're not going to stick to a healthy
Yep,
eating
that's true.
thing. We're not going to. Once in a while, I believe if you go out to eat once a week, for example, on a Saturday or it's a date night, whatever, I believe in eating whatever you feel like eating that night. Because the other 6 nights, you're really eating clean. You know what I mean? If you feel like eating an ice cream once a week, you eat your ice cream once a week, because it's not 7 nights a week that you're going to be eating that ice cream. That treat will help to prevent you from overdoing things. But I don't know about this burger. I
If I
can't
may
speak
touch,
to it.
if I may touch on that a little bit, and I too have done a little bit of research, because when I saw a fast food restaurant coming out with their version of healthy, I did a little bit of research. It is plant based. There is no meat products in it. However, the sodium content on that thing, you take one bite, and I just know that it's going to shoot up your blood pressure because of the additives that they put in there. Is what makes, and it's probably the high fructose corn syrup.
Yes.
It's the salt. It's whatever else they put in there that makes it that
Taste
appeals
like
to someone's taste buds.
burger. Again, it comes back to what you were saying earlier, Marva. It is the taste of the meat. That's what your husband was saying earlier to you. It is the taste of the meat that people gravitate to. So here it is. They came out with this burger alternative,
Mm-hmm.
and a quote unquote healthier alternative that tastes like burger and sometimes in some cases better than a burger, but not quite healthier than a burger
No, and
because
some of
of
them,
the
um,
additives.
and some of them have a lot of soy products in it,
Yes.
and soy is not made for everybody. Soy is not always a healthy alternative.
Yeah, the estrogen like properties of soy, you know, can be a real killer. And again, I'm not saying that soy is bad, but Marva said it just now. Everything in moderation.
Mm-hmm.
And once you start getting out of proportion with things, that is when the main part of the problem comes into play, in my opinion. So,
Mm-hmm.
going back to babies, we, because mothers have to go back to work so quickly, now they probably too tired to express milk or to breastfeed and leave milk for the baby. The baby has to be going to uh, have somebody take care of the baby, whether in the nursery or something. They're giving formula. Why? One, because it's easier,
Mm-hmm.
and all these additives in the formula are not better for the children. So now we end up having more incidents of autoimmune diseases. You check it out. Look at how many more children are developing diabetes.
Mm-hmm.
You think it's just by accident? It's not.
Mm-hmm. But you know what, Kevin? Even our animals are developing these diseases,
I
or
get
or
that too.
dogs, cats are getting diabetes and thyroid problems and cancer and all these things because of the nasty food that we're feeding our animals. I mean,
Yes.
when we grew up in the islands, you didn't hear about no dog having no cancer and diabetes and
What?
all that. But what did the dogs eat? The same food off our table,
Off
the
our
yam.
tables. Yes. I
Yeah.
used to make my dogs food. My dogs that lived outside in the
Mm,
elements,
yeah.
I used to make their food using cornmeal.
Yeah.
And it was leftover scraps from our food
Yeah.
that was cooked down into. Now of course now they were getting a cooked meal because it was either leftovers cooked food or it was leftover scraps from the meat that is being prepared, that is cooked down,
Yeah.
but they were having a cooked meal.
Yeah.
My dogs were healthy, my dogs were strong. As a child, I used to ride one of my dogs like a horse.
Yeah. 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 But these dogs, they're being fed canned and bagged foods, and they're getting the same disease or even autoimmune. They're
Yes.
dogs with
Yes.
arthritis that can't walk.
Yes.
Okay, and cats too. and
Yes.
and, and then their skin, their furs are falling off, and they have skin problems
Mm-hmm.
because these animals are experiencing stress because their owners are stressed out, and these animals, they don't get to go outside and go for a walk.
Mm-hmm.
Our dogs and are not, and our cat, forget about the poor cats, they don't get to go outside,
Mm-hmm.
and they're eating bad, so they're getting the same diseases that humans are getting. So it's about not just what we eat, but the overall lifestyle of us humans and on now our pets.
Yes. Listen, I want to thank you, ladies, for making tonight's broadcast. Real life stories, real life situations, real life people
Mm-hmm.
that have gone through it and are living it and are on the journey and helping others to get
Yes.
better. You both are helping others to get better. Marva, you with your book, with the social media groups,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Althea as a massage therapist, as a personal trainer, and plus your personal stories, your testimonies.
Mm-hmm.
You can't have a testimony without a test. You might not get no money for it, but you can't have the testimony without a test.
Yeah.
And clearly, you both have been tested and spent some money.
Yes.
So you may spend some money in getting a testimony, but you may not receive money. But it's not about that. It's about sharing your story and the value which you bring to someone's life by sharing that of your own. I'm gonna ask you ladies to go ahead and put out your contact information for me, please, if you would be so kind. Marva, you can start.
All right. So my name is Marva Riley. I'm a registered nurse and the author of the book Eat, Sleep, Meditate, A Nurse's Guide to Health. And you can reach me on my website, rnmarvariley.com. I also have a Facebook health and wellness support group. It's called The Doctor in You. And your listeners can send me a request to join the group, and you will be promptly accepted.
Nice. Althea?
And you can reach me at Thea Later, that's TheaLater at att.net. That's my email. My health and fitness website, my personal training website, will be published by the end of this month. I'm working on it. And it is going to be Chioli, and that's CHYOLI, fitness.com. And for those of you who go, where did that name come from? If you take the first two letters of this phrase I'm going to give you, that's how I came up with the name Chioli Fitness, and it just means changing your lifestyle will change your life. I also have a YouTube page of the same name, and I have a Facebook page of the same name, Chioli Fitness, and I will be, as soon as the website is published, information will be on my social media pages so that you can go and check out the website, which will have videos, workout videos. It will have client testimonials. It's going to have a blog. You name it, it's going to be on there. It is going to be your go-to page for health and one of your go-to page for health and wellness.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Thank you, Althea. And of course, your massage therapy. People can call, and I give out that number every night, so I should know it by heart at least. 954-655-9000, 954-655-9000, operating out of Broad County, North Miami-Dade, and South Palm Beach counties.
And pretty soon, Healing Heavenly Hands, you'll be able to access that once the website is up and running.
Excellent. Thank you, ladies. I truly appreciate love you taking the time out, going past your bedtimes to share with us tonight.
My pleasure. Take care, Kevin.
Pleasure. Good night, everyone. Thank you so much again, Marva.
All right, my pleasure. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Alrighty. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We made it through Healthy Love. Now I'm going to get into some musical therapy. I do want to say thank you to my previous segment sponsor, Reggae Global Entertainment. Reggae Global will handle your bookings, take care of your tour management, provide copyrights, legal contracts, publishing, trademarks, business registration, legal service referrals, music production, marketing and promotions, and more. Call them up. 954-804-8199. That's 954-804-8199. Or check them out online on reggaeglobalentertainment.com. And for this current segment that we're in, I want to thank GMAT Music Solutions, providing, bringing your event to life, providing sound, light, and stage production services, musical equipment, PA systems, audio engineers, DJs, bands, musicians, singers, and so much more. Give them a call, 754-307-GMAC. That's 754-307-4622. GMACmusicsolutions.com. Check them out. Tell them you heard about them on the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew. Now, we're going to get into some musical therapy. But, of course, I want to remind you, it's Healthy Love. And it happens each Tuesday on the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew. Reach out to these ladies. Talk to them. Get more of their stories. Join the social media groups. Because through this, you can grow. Through this, you can have healthy love. Change your lifestyle. Because it will change your life. Chioli, right? Change your lifestyle. Change your life. Real things, real talk, real people. This has been Healthy Love. Now let's get in some healthy music.
I don't know about them now.
Kicking it off with the sound of Hezron.
Can't do it.
Track is called Man on a Mission.
Here I am. Here I am. Oh. Man on a mission. Yeah. Oh, 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 oh. Man on a mission. Yeah. Oh, oh, oh. Here I am. Oh, oh, oh. When the lion is asleep, the jungle mumbles. When the lion is awake, all heads bow, the jungle humbles. We just ordinary people doing extraordinary things. Smallest eyes rock the biggest bones. So who said it can't be done? Well, here I am, ready for the test, ready with a class for fans. Yeah, here I am, a man on a mission. Yeah, a man on a mission. I'm a man on a mission. Oh, 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 oh. Man on a mission. We still up on the battlefield, still hungry for the belief. If you believe you can achieve it, and when you see, just take it. The world is yours, the world is mine. Let's live our dream, yeah. So who said we can't? It can't be done. Well, here I am, ready for the test, ready with a class for fans. Yeah, here I am, a man on a mission. Yeah, a man on a mission. I'm a man on a mission. Get out the way. I'm coming for my slice of the cake. Get out the way, get out the way. I'm coming for my slice of the cake. What you gonna say now? What you gonna do?
No, don't get it twisted, you know. The cake he is going for is not that cake that is going to make you fat. It's the kind of cake that will fatten up your life.
Ready for the test, get in. Ready with a class for
The
fans.
track is called Man on a Mission.
Here I am.
His name is Hezron.
Man on a mission. I'm a man on a mission. Man on a mission, yeah. I'm a man on a mission.
Just look at where we coming from, where we are today. Yeah.
sweet.
Thank you.
It's called Give Thanks.
Mama, mama, me eyes, me I give thanks. And when the struggle is hard and the food on the yard, every day we have to give thanks. Take from me rise, me have to give thanks. Mama, mama, me eyes, me I give thanks.
And for good health and long life.
Every day we have to give thanks.
Even if we're recovering from bad health, we need to give thanks.
When there's so much we should be grateful about. Passing in the rainfall and the sunshine and the moonlight, yeah. Never you be ungrateful. Still a cuss all when you're grateful. It's like them forget off we pray. Everybody got their own way. But every day me I give thanks. Mama, mama, me eyes, me I give thanks. And when the struggle is hard and the food on the yard, every day we have to give thanks. Take from me rise, me have to give thanks. Mama, mama, me eyes, me I give thanks. Yeah, and when the struggle is hard and the food on the yard, every day we have to give thanks. Rise up this morning, me have to give praises. Give thanks to God now for letting me lazy. Yeah, me no matter how the world is. Yeah, everything come with changes. Can't bother with the bag of complaining. Every day me just give him praises. It no matter gun blasting or blazing, we still ahead. Yeah. So for me eyes, me I give thanks. Mama, mama, me eyes, me I give thanks. And when the struggle is hard and the food on the yard, every day we have to give thanks. Take from me rise, me have to give thanks. Mama, mama, me eyes, me I give thanks. Yeah. And when the struggle is hard and the food on the yard, every day we have to give thanks.
This is Liba.
Say you're a soldier.
Track called Raga Soldier.
Soldier. Say don't need no one to make it in this world.
Daughter of Toots Hibbert,
No matter.
the late
Here is power.
Toots Hibbert.
There's no way we can survive. Living on our own because you need me. Like I need you. We should be united in unity. So rise and shine. Show your light.
above ground is a good day. Instead of fight and quarrel and complain, give thanks and praise is what you should say. Cause every day above ground is a good day. And every day above ground is a good day. Instead of fight and quarrel and complain,
This is Corey.
praise is what you should say. Cause every day
Track is called Good Day.
blessings step on me everywhere I go. Just shining sunlight through my window.
12 minutes before we get out of here.
Because no one knows tomorrow. So I give thanks, no time for stressing. Every breath I breathe is a blessing. Respect to you, Jah. I'm confessing you're on things. I'm not guessing, cause every day above ground is a good day. Instead of fight and quarrel and complain, give thanks and praise is what you should say. Cause every day above ground is a good day. And every day above ground is a good day. Instead of fight and quarrel and complain, give thanks and praise is what you should say. Cause every day above ground is a good day. Got no time to be hateful. There's so much to be grateful for. You might never have the plate full, but from your living and breathing, stay cheerful and give thanks and learn this lesson. Every breath we breathe,
Every breath we breathe is a blessing.
I'm confessing you're on things.
You want to keep it healthy though.
Cause every day above ground is a good day. Instead of fight and quarrel and complain, give thanks and praise is what you should say. Cause every day above ground is a good day. And every day above ground is a good day. Instead of fight and quarrel and complain, give thanks and praise is what you should say. Cause every day above ground is a good day.
Love cannot be a game that has no conclusion.
This is Mr. G. Cole.
Love is not just a dream that's built on
Track is called What is Love.
illusion. It's more than something to feel. You can taste it and touch it, it's real. Love is when two people make it, and nothing outside they can break it. If they understand that they can't command love to be where it cannot be free. Love is not just one night of moment of fire. It's a more than hunger inside that builds on desire. And it can't be bound by a chain. And it be sharing our love for a day. Love is a season forever. When two people blend it together. But it cannot go unless both of them know they must give if their love is to live. And this is the kind of love that we know when we share. Girl, this is the kind of love that will always be there. Yes, love is what two people make it. Nothing outside cannot break it. If they understand that they can command love to be where it cannot be free. I said love to be where it cannot be free.
You're gonna
This is out of G Mac. You love his rendition of Things You Say You Love.
can't last too long.
As we go through this musical therapy, this healthy love night.
Can't last too long. The way you're vibrating. You're
song, yeah. Anywhere you wanna go, just say the word and you know I'ma take you there. Oh yeah, you need somebody to remind you. And if you feel lost, I'll find you. Oh, I just wanna make you mine. So waste no time. Change your life. You and I, will chase the skies and no limits.
This is the sound of King Charles.
If you want to, you can be.
Track called Juice.
And I will be your king forever. If you want to, you can be my queen. And I will be your king forever. Oh yeah. Girl, you got the moves, you got the juice, you got the flavor, got the sauce on, yeah. Anywhere you wanna go, just say the word and you know
We have a brand new track here, courtesy of Original and Marcia J. Ball. I'm gonna close out with tonight. I wanna thank you all though. Thank you to the affiliates, One Harmony Radio, NIE Radio, Island Worldwide, WGLRO, Dusic Media Groups, Hollywood Media Group, Hollywood Radio, the Foundation Radio Network, ClintonLindsay.com, PEMG TV. Thank you very much. As you all go about your day, go about your way, remember to look out for members of your community. Your community is not just development that you live in, but it spreads far and wide. So whether you walk, ride, or drive, take the bus, the plane, the boat, or the train, the people that you pass along the way, these are your neighbors, these are your friends, these are members of your community. Do something good for one of them today, because you never know who's going to do something good for you tomorrow. My name is DJ Kevin Steele, so I like to do it to you, for you, and with you. Join me tomorrow again, kevinsteele.com, 10 p.m. Eastern, for Real Talk. Until then... we bounce out with this. Marcia J. Ball, Original, another love song.
The way it feels, it's almost like a dream. If the winds would up and take me to where it all begins. I'm so caught up in another love song, praying that it never goes wrong, floating on a melody of what it really feels to be loved. Moments of emotion shared by two who really, really care. I'm caught up in the rapture of you, and I don't wanna let go. Your love is my resource, my constant comfort zone, and I come to you whenever I'm feeling alone. You never let me down. You always lift my spirit. So grateful that you're with me. I'm thankful that you are. So caught up in another love song, praying that it never goes wrong, floating on a melody of what it really feels to be loved. Moments of emotion shared by.
Good morning, good afternoon, good day to you wherever you are in the world, from right here in South Florida. I bid you all a good night.
I look forward to every day, even days you stay away. Couldn't have you falling prey to someone else's charms. I love it when you're near me, love. That's when I think clearly, love. Know this might seem selfish, but I really do not care. When you work on trust and you don't stop, ride the waves of love and build it up. Take a leap of faith and don't give in. Love one another. If your love is like an open door,
It's that
make sure
time again.
you
The
get
Peace
what
and Love
you
Academic
believe.
Scholarship, PALACE for short, is holding its 4th annual International 12-hour telethon to raise funds for education in Jamaica and the Caribbean. It all happens on Saturday, July 17th from 9 a.m. till 9 p.m. Eastern. But we need your help to provide 80 scholarships this year. Visit palace1.org to see the success stories and to make your tax-deductible donations. We thank you so much.
Greetings and salutations. This is DJ Kevin Stew inviting you to bubble up and simmer down with me in the Saturday Stew right here on Reggae Global Radio. Get ready for the special segment called The Secret Ingredient, where you may hear from your favorite artist or producer. Saturday Stew happens every Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time exclusively on ReggaeGlobalRadio.com, where we get high on reggae. Greetings and salutations, one and all. You're invited to tune in to the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew. It airs on Mondays with Community and Finance, Tuesdays with Healthy Love, and Wednesdays with Real Talk from 10 p.m. to midnight Eastern Time. Come spend some time interacting in the stew pot where we keep things bubbling and wind down in musical therapy. The night shift with DJ Kevin Stew is on kevinstew.com, where you're encouraged to have acceptance through entertainment.